I said, if it ever happens to me again, I will not let the son of a bitch walk away. I will not let him get away with it. That's what was going through my mind.
There are cases, obviously, out there where doctors have been prosecuted and gone to prison, but the problem is that the system has massive gaps in it where doctors can commit criminal acts against patients sometimes on a serial basis, and authorities find out about it, yet they're never turned over to police or prosecutors who could hold them accountable. Tara Betrice's case, which involves a doctor named Gias Arar, is not a case where the medical board did not report it. It's a case where it was reported initially to police. So we're using this to illustrate how differently allegations against doctors can go if they go to police as opposed to the medical board, which is made up largely of other physicians. In this case, the doctor was in handcuffs that same night that police found out about it. Tara Betrice and her husband had just moved to Louisville a few months prior to this happening. She has a degenerative bone disease, and she had been referred to Gias Arar by another doctor, and she was in the exam room. Sounds like it wasn't but a few minutes before he forced himself on her.
Not only hip surgery, I had a fall the 1st of January, so I had a fractured right knee, I had a fractured clavicle, and my left shoulder was already collapsed completely. I needed it replaced. It was collapsed, so I was in excruciating pain from all of that, trying to fight him off. And his whole body weight on me, there wasn't really much I could do other than scream for help, which, you know, no one came. So he would continue kissing me. He ripped my bra. Particularly, he was kissing my left breast a lot. After he would not stop kissing me and fondling my breast and my bra ribs, that I was terrified. I was pretty scared. I was actually really scared at that point. I guess he found a soft place in his heart. I don't know if I should say that, but he allowed me to adjust myself. That's when I realized, yes, he was playing with himself as well and masturbating.
This may be hard to believe, but she was actually thinking on her feet in the moment right after this happened, and was able to start collecting DNA evidence, like tissues he was wiping himself off with. The $100 bill he threw at her even had some DNA on it, and she didn't know it at the time, but she even had DNA evidence on her sweatshirt. She had been sexually assaulted before when she was younger, and she had resolved to herself that she would never let this happen again and let the person get away with it.
Because I was drugged and I was date raped when I was 19 years old. I was unable to report it immediately. I was out of it. There was no evidence, and I took a vow. I made an oath. I promised, if this ever, God forbid, if it ever happened to me again, or to anyone that I said, if it ever happens to me again, I will not let the son of a bitch walk away. I will not let him get away with it. That's what was going through my mind, that I've just been sexually assaulted. I'm not leaving here unless since he provided his DNA, it's not like I requested that from Arar. I certainly did not want to be assaulted or ejaculated on, but since he was making the tissue readily available, I don't know. That fight or flight mode, it just kicked in.
She was convinced that it was not the first time he'd ever done it, that it had to be something he'd done several times before. And that's why she decided to go on the news a couple days later, on the advice of her private attorney, and make a plea for other people to come forward. And sure enough, some did.
Since Tara Betrice came forward charging Dr. Arar with abuse, 4 other women have given statements to sex crimes investigators.
I knew there were other victims, so at that point, ultimately decided, I'll put my name out there if I can keep everyone. If there are others and they hear this report, if they can always remain anonymous, they never have to report their name, I'll take all the public backlash, and believe me, I did, And, you know, I'll take whatever responsibility or blame, whatever it may be, to protect any other victims if there are, and if they come forward.
Giya Sarar was sentenced to 3 years in prison. When he does get out, he'll have to register as a sex offender.
I would I would do it all over again if I had to.